Hi guys, I've got a big surprise for you this morning. We've been working on a tool that we thought would work well with inks, and it does. It's amazing. We've had it custom modified for our own purposes, and it's called the air spatter. It works by pushing the syringe handle in and out. The amount of coverage and the evenness that you get is dependent on how much pressure and how fast you move that handle in and out, but you get the hang of it in 5 minutes. I think it's the best thing since an airbrush. It's manual, they're not expensive, and they suit the large pigmented inks. I mean, you can still use your normal inks in them, but these are designed with the inks such as the holographic, the liquid dichro, the chiffons in mind for large pigments. And I will show you how amazingly this works. I've just put the phone in the caddy, and then I will go over and spray some onto that piece of poly art glass that I've just got taped to the Raku grey. Now where it hits the Raku grey, you're only going to get, your normal looking silver because it's too dry for the holographic ink, which I've got in it at the moment. So yeah, we'll do it straight onto the poly art glass. Now I hope there's enough left in this. I should have checked it. This is just sort of a light spatter on the top. As it dries, you'll start to see those holographic pigments. And then as I push harder and faster, it gets heavier. Now, by going over and over it, you actually get a beautiful coverage like you do with an airbrush. So can you see how it's graduating from the light at the top to this medium? Now I'll really hit it down here, harder and faster. And you've got to do several passes before you get a nice even look. I'm speeding up the process that I normally use just so that we can fit this onto video. Now, it's going to take a while to dry that bottom area, so we'll come back to it. You should be seeing a little bit of colour at the top already. As it dries, more and more of that colour will come out. But the purpose of this is not to show you the holographic ink so much as the air spatter. It's a manual airbrush that can just do so much. I will take you sorry, you're seeing me all decked out for winter here because it's freezing. It's like 5 degrees at 11 o'clock in the morning, which is equivalent to what, about 37 Fahrenheit, I think, or 35, something like that. But anyway, so that's just hitting it very quickly on a piece of poly art glass. The bottom we won't even bother with. I'll come back to that later because it needs to dry. Now that's when I take it away from the Raku grey. I would never do it on the Raku grey because it's not a slick surface and it just absorbs the pigments and doesn't reflect them. Different with the chiffons and liquid dichros and the other ones. But anyway, that's the exciting thing. Now I did show you this, didn't I? That's how they'll come. And we'll walk across to where I've just done just a plain wine glass, just the holographic ink. Now remember, with the holographic ink, you do need light for it to work. I wish I could take you out into the sunshine, but that's not happening today. But anyway, that's that lovely coverage I get just using that air spatter. It's actually like having an airbrush with a lot less control but for our purposes with the ink, it's just magnificent. It works absolutely beautifully. And what I will do with this glass, I'll decide whether to put an H2O glide on it, which I probably will. I just put a little bit of Kama on before I do anything else. And after I finish, then I put on some of our UV resin on a foam brush, and I drag it across the surface so that I have a lovely thin coverage. And then I end up with lovely wet look. That one's mermaid, that's why the colour is involved there. There we go. So you get the lovely wet look and the protection from the environment. Just with a coat of, I'm too far out of the sun for you to see the pretty holographic look there. But anyway, that explains what I've been doing now. This is just a plain vase, simply with the same coating of spattered holographic ink. You can see on the ceramic, it just sits beautifully. And that air spatter, it's a dream come true for alcohol inkers. I use about 5 or 6 of them at the same time I've got going. I have one colour in each, only because I can, because I've got a lot of them. You can have one and use these little canisters for your colours, swap them over, blow the leftover bit out of the tube, about 4 or 5 pushes, and then put your next colour on. What I'm doing with my set of them is I have a set for blues, a set for reds and pinks, a set for yellowish, and a set for greens, etc. And it makes the change from shade to shade really easy, and it's like working with a set of Derwents, you know, all those colours all ready to go. But one will do everything that you could possibly need for your alcohol inking. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I hope you like it. Now I've got to move on to getting this shop tidied up for the opening, and I'll do a proper video when I get that done. But anyway, this is the air spatter, best thing since an airbrush for alcohol ink. Only use it outside because it's not safe to be using anything like this indoors. I put my mask on. I've got a mask on right now, but even when I'm outdoors spraying, I put my mask on because you've got particles flying everywhere. So, you know, you take that safety precaution, you can have the best fun and absolutely beautiful, beautiful results. All right, guys, I hope you're having a nice day. I'm having an awesome one. Love you all. Bye.